Hi all, you are watching a fragment of the Countdown program from February 19, 2024. Today is Monday. View all of our programs on the Patreon resource. And thanks to everyone who is becoming our patrons right now. I'll talk about the themes of postscriptum later, but now about the most important thing. While the Kremlin was celebrating the bloody capture of the Ukrainian Avdiivka, at the Munich Security Conference it was stated that the affairs of Ukraine were not as bad as they thought in Moscow. Ukraine has recently signed security guarantee agreements with Germany and France. Thus, three leading European countries, including Britain, have already guaranteed assistance to Ukraine until it joins NATO. Not a bad result, considering the turmoil of the US Congress, which is under the heel of the Trumpist lobby. French Defense Minister Sébastien Lecornu said that France will soon test a new generation of kamikaze drones on Russian soldiers. According to him, this is the common interest of Ukraine and France. The first example concerns the development of a new generation of kamikaze drones, the minister said. This project, which I initiated immediately after my appointment, is now at the experimental stage. Ukraine will be among the first beneficiaries of these drones in the coming weeks, giving us the opportunity to combat test this new generation of equipment. Here our interests coincide, Lecornu concluded. It is also expected that by June 24, the long-awaited F-16S will finally appear in the skies of Ukraine. The head of European diplomacy, Josep Borrell, said at the Munich conference, "I don't think people at the highest political level, the intermediate level, understand that we are in a situation that requires a completely different approach. Not just, let's look at it next month at the Council of Foreign Ministers. No, in 3 months the situation will already be resolved on the battlefield," he unexpectedly predicted. This assumption seems unreasonably optimistic, given the seriousness of the situation on the Ukrainian fronts, when the Russians are literally rushing forward in 5 directions, driven by strict orders from the Kremlin. Putin needs significant victories before mid-March, by the time of his re-establishment. Even as Ukraine faces a new wave of ammunition shortages caused by a political impasse in the US Congress over funding for Ukraine, Kyiv is holding its own and European defense officials are giving it credit for its smart and effective rationing of its ammunition. Julianne Smith, the US ambassador to NATO, told the Security Conference, "Look at what the Ukrainians have achieved in the last 2 years," referring to the combination of advanced drone technology with an old fleet of Soviet military equipment. "Look at what a collective of allies and partners have done to support Ukraine over the past 2 years," she added. Europe must step up military support for Ukraine, which urgently needs ammunition, Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen said on Sunday, noting that EU countries are providing Ukraine with insufficient aid. "We need to make sure that on Saturday, when this war has been going on for 2 years, Ukraine receives more supplies," Frederiksen said, specifying that she meant ammunition, artillery, long-range missiles, drones and increased support under the coalition to provide Kiev with F-16 fighters. According to the politician, European countries must provide Kiev with what it needs in the short term so that in the long term Ukraine can be welcomed into the EU and NATO. Become our patrons right now and look further in this program. Banks of the United Arab Emirates, following Turkish and Chinese ones, began to close the accounts of Russians. The widow of Alexei Navalny, Yulia Navalnaya, published a video on social networks in which she promised to go into politics in order to achieve a change of power in Russia. Donald Trump ranked last in a new ranking of presidential greatness. Biden is in 14th. The first one is traditionally Abraham Lincoln. Watch in the program, Postscript. The death of Alexei Navalny is a signal for the reformatting of Russia and its turn into totalitarianism. Putin is preparing a cave for war with NATO, burning bridges and crossing out the option of a reset with another leader. Good Russians are no longer needed. The next to be eliminated are those who know too much about the agreement with the system. FBK figures, Benediktov and his company, and not only them. If the chair really swayed under Navalny's curator, FSB General Korolev, Then his place could be taken by General Feoctistov's nominee, who could drown the entire country in blood. You will find out his name by watching the Postscript program. And that is all. View our full programs on the Patreon resource. And thanks to everyone who is becoming our patrons right now. Hugs to everyone. See you on Thursday. Glory to Ukraine.